Hi, I'm Dawn Damari, and this is another episode of the Teaspoon of Healing audio blog. Today, I'm going to be talking about self-care tips for empaths. So, first of all, what is an empath? Well, an empath is highly intuitive, sensitive, and absorbs the emotions and the pain and the joy of other people. If you're an empath, you're going to identify with other people. You're going to take on their problems as your own. And you might find yourself feeling for people that you don't even know. You may identify strongly with how someone feels, and you're really going to want to put yourself into their shoes. And you really cannot stand to see or witness pain, suffering, bullying, things like that. If you're an empath, you're a very giving person, sometimes a little bit too much, so you need to watch that. But with proper self-care techniques, you can manage your giving nature and you're not going to get overwhelmed. And you're going to need a lot of alone time to recharge and to get rid of the energy of others because you absorb it. And you're going to be naturally drawn to the caring professions, healing, and the creative arts. Now, what is the difference between an empath and a highly sensitive person? I've had another episode about highly sensitive people. Well, they are actually different. An empath can be a highly sensitive person and vice versa, but a highly sensitive person is not always an empath. Highly sensitive people are emotionally and physically affected by external stimuli like noise, taste, touch, fabrics, bright lights, things like this, more so than regular people. Their feelings are usually very intense, they're intuitive, and they're usually highly creative people. But what makes an empath different from a highly sensitive person is that they are literal sponges. An empath will absorb the energy, the feelings, the imprint, just the source of other people to a great extent. Now, I do believe that I'm an empath myself. Of course, I'm going to try to play that down, and I can remember many times where I have not been empathetic to others. But in general, yes, I'm an empath. And it doesn't mean you're always going to be this nice, giving person. Sometimes when you give too much of yourself, you're actually going to be the opposite if you don't take care of yourself. And that's what's happened to me in the past. It's not really an easy road to be an empath, but I do see it as a gift now. But you really need to take care of yourself. If you don't do that, you're just going to absorb too much of someone's energy. You're going to feel resentful for being overgiving. And this can lead to depression. And you're going to feel really overwhelmed and have no energy, just like you want to sleep all the time. Empaths are also prime targets for narcissists, sociopaths. These type of people, they do not have any empathy. And an empath has a ton of empathy for others. So they see that and they will want to literally drain it from you. So you need to really take care of yourself to avoid this. So what are some self-care tips for empaths? These are some things that have helped me. Grounding is a really good thing, whether that's through meditation or breath work or just walking in nature, or simply walking barefoot in either the sand, grass, or some dirt. Grounding can center you and remove any external energies. It sounds a little hokey, but it's really true. Give it a try. Spending time alone. Now, you may or may not be an introvert if you're an empath. There's plenty of extroverted empaths, but most of us, I would say, are introverted. Whether you are or not, an empath is going to need alone time to recharge. Because you're a literal sponge and you're absorbing so much of people's energy, it's okay to be a sounding board for other people, but people will have the tendency to dump their problems on you. And you're going to absorb this without even trying. You need to spend time alone to regroup and remove those energies from you and remind yourself of who you are at your core. And this will help you reclaim your energy and not become depressed or fatigued. As an empath, it is imperative for you to establish strong boundaries. Now, I'll go into boundaries more in future episodes, but boundaries are essential for all of us. But for empaths, they are a requirement. Again, you're going to be targeted by narcissists and people who want to take advantage of your giving nature. If you have boundaries, you can avoid this. A boundary can be simply saying no. It's not always easy to do. To assert yourself, or online, unfollowing people, muting people, blocking people if you don't like the content they're putting out or you don't like their energy. And there's lots of other things you can do. Another thing you could do is to visualize a bubble of protection around you. It sounds a little cheesy, but when you're out in public or at a gathering or a meeting, just visualize a shield or a bubble of protective energy surrounding you. And this can help protect you from external energies that you don't want and influences. Another good thing to do is to spend time in nature. As an empath, you're going to be very drawn to the elements, to animals, and to plants. And animals are often going to gravitate to you. So having a pet or volunteering to work around animals is a really good thing for empaths, or having a lot of plants could be a good thing, or just simply spending a lot of time in nature. This can help you tune out the noise of the modern world and really help you get in touch with your source. And my last tip is to take breaks sometimes from technology and social media. Now, as empaths, we love people and we love sharing our lives or our creative work online and forming communities. Unfortunately, especially nowadays in 2021, the online world can be toxic, and it is a playground for narcissists. It can also turn off our own internal validation mechanisms, and it just makes us rely so much more on external validation and other people's opinions. And as empaths, we tend to take things at face value. And we often forget that social media is often not real. And there are a lot of Facebook groups and message boards for empaths, which is great. It's so great that empaths can connect and find coping mechanisms. But be aware that narcissists know this, and they are going to go to these forums, go to these Facebook groups, and infiltrate to get their narcissistic supply from empaths. So be careful. So a good thing to do, again, is just to take a break from social media sometimes and turn off your phone when you can. It's a really good thing to do to ground you. Now, these tips should empower you and help you avoid the pitfalls, giving yourself too much, becoming depressed, or becoming overwhelmed as an empath. Be sure to protect this gift of yours. It is really important to the world, but you have to take care of yourself first. And let me know if you're an empath, what you would like to hear about and what you have done to protect yourself and recharge. And thank you for listening. And don't forget to subscribe.